off to. You can join Jonathan on the mat. I think I'm off to make dinner.
Oh, let's show everybody our sign for our new sign because everybody has a trouble finding our shop, right? So
Oh.
should we show everybody the design? Okay, I'll show it on the YouTube live.
Yeah,
Okay.
show it on the YouTube
Okay.
live.
We appreciate you guys. See you
Okay,
on YouTube.
see you on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Oh, can you say goodbye?
Bye.
Oh, bye. How did you find those?
We're
Why
live?
did you find those?
All right. Oh, well, we're live with these, right? We're connected. Mic check, mic check. Should I show? I'll pull it up on here. I'll show everybody our sign. So we have a coffee shop in Sanganga called Fresh Tea and Coffee.
Yeah.
But
That's
we
it.
couldn't find any reliable, like anybody that was worth renting from. That was close to the road. Obviously, we want to be right on the roadside, but there seems to be a lot of drama with like land spaces and stuff like that. And we love the landlords that we're with now. They're just awesome people. And so, but it just happens that we're just off the highway, just where people like just out of sight, basically. If you look closely, you can see us from the highway, but it's a bit difficult. So we have gotten approved to put a sign, a billboard on the road. This will be on the south side. So let me just pull it up here. You guys can tell me what you think. Have we got anybody in yet?
Yep, 14.
Okay. Where is this? Here we go. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Is it showing up?
Yep. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the sign? Because yeah, like I said, it's hard for people to find it. So it addresses the directions before it addresses the brand. Although the branding, like all the color and everything, is ours. But people will be like, next left, what's next left? And then they'll see it there. So instead of having a big sign with your brand, your logo big, like let's get concerned about getting people there first. So like if you just see a sign that says like, hey, like you're missing out if you don't turn left, then people are like, what? Well, what's left? And it's there. You know what we were thinking of doing? Tui had a great idea.
Okay.
That
John,
we should on the backside. You have to hold up your mic if you want to talk though. On the backside of the next left, like turn left. What does it say? Next left? Take your next left.
It says next left.
Next left. On the other side of it, you could say, you just missed us.
Yeah.
Right?
You just missed us.
Okay, so then because
Like
I was thinking of doing a you
face.
just missed us sign, but I didn't think about just doing it on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because then people would be like, what did we miss? Or like they go past like, what do you and then when they drive past it, they look behind them like, oh, we have to go back and turn left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll move back. We're not in frame
I
right
see.
now because there's two of us today. I'm only joining for like half, maybe.
Yeah, where did this come out? This is my show.
But
Sheesh.
I'm your better half.
Yeah, that's true. We'll agree on that on screen.
All right. On screen. How rude. Whatever. I look better in a suit.
What's going on Twitter? Did you see anything on Twitter today? Oh. Boring.
It's not boring. We're taking cool shots. I was up on a ladder today. I almost died.
Oh, did you?
No.
Oh.
It was fine. I was just nervous. My legs are sore, and I've realized they're sore from the stress of being on the ladder. Like, they're a little shaky, and yeah. And then Tui and I were fighting over the colors that should go on the artwork. He didn't approve of my color choices, and I told him off because I was like, you don't know anything. And we'll wait and see. Wait and see. Yeah. Yeah, in the end, I decided on pink.
Yeah, it's bold.
You know, it's already
Well, there's a lot of pink banana trees.
totally.
Huh?
Yeah, what do you
I think it's something that I have to grow to love.
So whatever.
No, I think it's like it's hard because
rude.
no, but when you're not there in person, it's not the same. Because when I
No.
walked in and it was like, oh, this is sick.
In person, it's way cooler
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it has
yeah.
texture. Like, it brought it off the wall a little bit, and it's a little bit more in your face. In the photo, I would say it doesn't do it justice. It looks large, but it's not as like vibrant, and you can't see the texture from it. And the love.
Today with the boys, we went and did some tractor work
Okay.
Yeah, we went and did some ran up the old rotavator from Shaktiman, so it's just given to us by Global Machinery, or sold to us by Global Machinery. So took that thing out. That thing is a beast. And we prepped one of my uncle's fields for his. He wants to plant watermelon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good.
So we got that done. We went swimming in the river, and then we got stuck on the way back up.
What do you mean?
Well, like the rotavator, hey, Leaky, we got stuck at the river. Yeah. And so because the rotavator is so wide that it it got trapped in the banks, and so we had to like dig it out for like 45 minutes, and then we had room to bring the tractor up. It's all part of the adventure. What else did yeah, the kids were just they spent the rest of the day playing. Then I had a good talk with my dad. We were talking about mental health stuff.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah. So um oh my gosh. Yeah, we were talking about and we were talking about the fact that like people sharing emotions in the Itoke part of the Fijian culture isn't really like something that we do. We don't really talk about like how we feel. And I was like, as I usually say, like I don't know, because the culture is so like juvenile. Like there wasn't a lot of reason to talk about your feelings. Like talking about your feelings up until like 100 years ago didn't really do much because like you're just trying to stay alive. Like there's
What
still
does
tribal wars.
what does juvenile mean? Like young?
Yeah, it's just like it's compared to like say Europe or like the Middle East or Asia, where cultures and like buildings and stuff are like hundreds of years old. Like you don't find that in Fiji.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we kind of know ourselves as far back as like colonial times, and beyond that, it's like uh, like there's not a lot like documented. You know,
Okay, yeah.
like we don't have like paintings in caves. It's a lot of like everything needs to be passed down. Like that's the cool thing about creating content, because like we're forced to like tell the story, and
Yeah,
ask, and it's our
that's true.
responsibility to like ask questions about like why do we do this.
Mm.
And it's so hard for people to like, no, this is what you do, but it's like, well, if you actually tell me why we do it, then like we can like preserve it, and
Yeah.
like we know why it's important.
Yeah,
Right.
the value of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and I
so
think it's been really good for us being here because I am constantly asking you why. I think a lot of the questions that when you have someone from outside your culture, they come in, you can kind of discover more for yourself. And you were decent in answering those, but especially I remember when we first got married, I kept saying, "Why do I have to do this? Why are you asking me to do that?"
right.
And you just kept telling me, "Well, just because." And eventually you had to ask your dad and go into depth and explain it to me because just because was never good enough.
Right.
It was never the answer that I was looking for. I just kind of needed to have a bit more depth to it. I think it's really good for everybody that has a spouse from another country. It doesn't matter what country you're coming from or going to. Explaining your own culture is really difficult because we just do what we do. And then bringing someone new into it, you have to have a bit of a reasonable explanation. Like one of my friends in Canada, she was saying to me like, "Oh yeah, we have all these weird cultural expectations too. Like even along with like the bathroom. In Canada, when you're done using the bathroom, you leave the door open just a crack. Otherwise, if it's fully shut, you think someone's in there using the facilities and you don't bother them in the bathroom. And so when you leave, typically you leave it open just a little bit so they at least know that
Oh
nobody's in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
And it's a weird cultural thing, but when someone else always fully shuts the door, it just kind of throws everybody off just like a little bit,
yeah. Right.
and nobody really knows like
He's taking the longest poos.
yeah, nobody really knows that that's a cultural expectation, but it's those little things in culture that you realize either you're from here or you're not.
Right.
It's a nuance that you pick up on, and so you can tell that I'm not from Fiji or I don't belong in the village because I don't know any of those nuances. And people that come to Canada, you can tell they're not from Canada originally because they don't know those small things that make you local.
Right. Right.
So,
I get it.
what are those things here?
Like unspoken rules,
Well, like, don't lean in the doorway.
or don't like stand in the doorway with your hands like
I love doing that.
across the yeah. Like,
It's something we do at home all the time. It's like a chill spot.
well, you're not supposed to like. Everybody is just supposed to walk through the front door
Yeah.
of a house. Like that's usually, or was reserved for, like the man of the house.
Yeah.
Like everybody else should come from the kitchen side or the back. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Or like you approach from that side, and then they'll say, "No, no, come around the front. Come around the front." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like the hard thing for
Sign of
me
respect.
is not throwing things over my shoulder. Like not having like my towel over my shoulder or like a tea towel or a hat on
For
or
me,
something. What? What?
throwing me over your shoulder.
Yeah, I just love carrying John on my back wherever I go. Just a giantest person to carry around. Yeah. So those little things are difficult. You don't realize coming from the outside. Everything you do here to me is pretty much opposite. Like
Mm.
when I'm cooking, the place for my tea towel is on my shoulder. That is where I put it. That is how I cook. And then when I'm here, John's always like, "What are you doing?" Ah! It is a lifelong habit. That's what my mother taught me. That's what I do.
Mm.
So it's just retraining yourself to just be like, it's actually okay not to put it on my shoulder. I just have to put it on the table and deal with the unease of that.
Mm.
So, what do you have on the news today?
Well, I had a visit from the Taiwan. What?
Oh, we met them in the coffee shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah. The
Kevin.
Taiwan what?
Technical mission.
There you go.
TTM from Singatoka.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he came by here. So it was funny because he called me and he was like, "Hey, can you meet me at the coffee shop?" Because we talked a few weeks ago,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, "Yeah, like just when you in Van Relevu conducting your course, let me know."
Yeah.
And so they finished the course and he was like, "Hey, can I meet you at the coffee shop?" I was like, "Oh, actually, I don't have any transport today, and I have the kids at home." And then he ended up coming to here. So we just agreed to like meet another time, or when I come to Singatoka next time. And like 10 minutes later, this government vehicle shows up at my house, and I'm like, "What is going on right now? What?" I thought it was the police or something. So I like hid. I like ran across the river, like trying to get away. Like I don't want them to catch me. Like they're gonna lock me up forever. No, I was just in my room, and so I came out, and it was him. And he's like, "Man, everybody knows you here." Like I got off the phone, and like they're like, "Oh, I know, like Trentani, like we know where he lives. Like we'll just take you to his village." And so I
Okay.
was like, he's like, "Yeah, everybody knows you." I'm like, and not for walk of family stuff or whatever. It's just like, yeah, like everybody, all these villages around here, like related to me,
You're like,
right?
they're my family.
Yeah,
so-
like of course, yeah. Like to me, I'm like, oh, of course, right? Like they're gonna know me. So yeah, we came here, we sat down on the veranda and had a good chat. They focus on right now. They focus on dragon fruit and what is it? Green pearl guavas. So yeah. Why?
What?
Guava.
Guava?
He asked for guava, right?
Oh, yeah. I didn't really.
He was talking about the guava. Then.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't really clued into what was happening. We were chatting at the coffee shop, and I was kind of out of the loop, so I was just kind of like,
Oh.
"Oh, okay."
Was it nice? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I'm sure you and John sorted it out, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say hello.
So it sounds like I'm just trying to find an about on their page, like about us.
Yeah, it's interesting that you don't actually see a lot of people from Taiwan.
The mission is to promote bilateral trade, agriculture investment, education, and cultural exchanges and interactions between Taiwan and Fiji.
Okay.
So he's obviously in the agricultural part of that, and so they run like a farm in Singatoka, and he was up here conducting some training. So all the guavas that they grow are like green pearl, and you see them at like the extra supermarket, the New World, and they go for like $15 a kg at the grocery store. So they're like the really huge green ones, and inside it's like white. It's almost like an apple or something, but it's delicious. I think like the price is high because not many people plant them right now, so the price will come down if the market got a bit more saturated. But like I think you could start replacing like all of the apples that people eat here that we import. I think because they're so tasty. But there's also like there seems to be like a bit of a stigma around guavas. Like apples are a bit like Like if you give
Luxury or what?
luxury or like guava is like peasant food or something. Like it's like you don't really
That's probably the healthiest thing in this country. Apparently, guavas have an excessive amount of vitamin C.
vitamin C.
Should be consuming a lot of those guys.
But like I can offer somebody guava and they'll offer them apple. Yeah, sure. I'll have an apple. But it's like because guava is like something like to me, it's like something you eat as you're walking along. Like it's something you like
Yeah,
it's not
but
special, right?
we're
And
in
so
the
like
bush though. So
if
like anyone that doesn't live in the bush, I feel like it's still
yeah.
like
I might just start growing all these things and just start a market in front of our coffee shop.
yeah, you probably could.
Wherever there's a fresh tea and coffee, you get fresh fruit.
Fresh guavas all day,
Yeah.
baby. Okay, I'm gonna go. You
Be a
guys
mom.
continue. Our children are
I've
starting
been a
to
dad
surround
for
us.
all day. It's
Yes.
your turn.
So goodbye.
I got to be a dad all day. I didn't have to be. I got to be. I was actually so there was a tweet that I made this morning because it was a thought that I had because it was actually something I heard from a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he's like, he's not a Christian guy or anything, but he was talking about how he's like, what if instead of saying that like you have to do something, like you got to do it because like you could also be in a hospital bed or like if you're a parent, like your kid, something could also have happened to your kids yesterday, and you didn't have your kid or kids anymore, or like you know you could have lost your spouse. So like what if today you get to do all these things and you don't have to because yeah we have to because well we have to do it because we get to do it. And I think a lot of us skip the get to. Like we have some friends who lost one of their kids, and not like in when they were young, like he was like a young adult. And I was thinking of them and praying for them, you know, just thinking about Mother's Day and everything that's going on. And just like, I think there's a lot of people, maybe even people in this life who have lost kids, young and old. You just, as a parent, I guess you just picture that like you're going to be around, you know, your kids will be around longer than you. Like you won't have to see that part of life. And so, yeah, I was thinking about them and I was like, man, like they would give anything, you know, to probably have another chance or another moment with their kid. And I'm like, ugh, like I have to be a dad, like or like kids like just want to get stuff done, like but I can't get anything done because I have to be a parent. I have to watch them, make sure they don't hurt themselves, and like make them food and stuff. But it's like, man, if something happened to them and like I didn't get to do that. So like today, for instance, I thought about this because usually I haven't been in a good routine lately. Usually I wake up at 4:30 and go do my. Dude, I'm gonna freaking murder that chicken. I get to, I go for my run and do my workout and everything like that. And so I don't know. This rainy season just got me way out of sync. So I've been waking up a bit late and not doing like running and weights. And so today I woke up a bit late again. So it was like 5:30. I took some time to get ready, got the laundry going and stuff like that, and then came outside and Leaky was waiting for me. Or like I just tied up my shoes and like Leaky came out, and he was like, "Can we go together? Go?" And he's like, "Yeah," because he's wanted to start training with me. Like I don't know, I guess he sees me doing it all the time, so he's like, "Yeah, I can work out. I can work out." I'm like, "No, I'm not working out. I'm actually going. I'm not doing weights. Like just here. I'm actually going for a run." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's a long run, so you can't make it, dude." And he's like, "Oh, you run into Lambasa?" And Lambasa's like, "Yeah, yeah, Lambasa's like at 40 minutes, from here, 45-minute drive. They're like, no, I'm not running to Lambasa, but I'm like, okay, so his bike actually, so like his tires have been flat and stuff like that. So I fixed the bike pump because the bike pump's been broken, so the tires have been flat. So I took some time, looked at the bike pump. I'm like, oh, I can fix this. Spend 5 minutes, fix that, pumped up his tires, bike's good to go. And so I went for a run, and he was biking beside me. And so like he would race me on the downhill, like he would get way ahead of me, and then I'd always catch him on the uphill. So it actually worked out pretty good. And so, but in that moment, I was like, like I really should have woken up earlier so I didn't have to do this. Like I didn't want to be a parent yet. Like I wanted, like my mind, like I want to wake up early. I want to do my workout. I want to have a shower. I want to do my devotions alone, and then that's it. Um, and that's just how I done things for years. That morning routine is important to me. How it for my mental state, and
Mm.
I was like, you know what, I get to do this with Leaky today. And there are parents who would kill to be able to
Do that.
have that moment with their kid.
Mm.
And so, yeah, like you get another, today we got a chance to be parents.
Mm.
I got a chance to be a husband. I got a chance to talk to everybody, who's listening here. Like I get to do these things. And because I get that opportunity, then like I have to. So like but I think we just skip to the have to. Like I get to be a parent. It's a blessing. So now I have to actually be a good parent.
Mm.
But like if you ignore the get to part, you kind of like miss out, I think.
Mm.
And so changing the way that you talk to yourself, I put that in the caption. Like changing the way that we talk to ourselves, like can help change our actions
Mm.
and the way that or the reasons that we do things. So that was a long rant, sorry. But yes. Moving on. Moving on. So there was one article that caught my attention today. Diverse experiences needed to tackle climate change. And so I love reading more clickbaity stuff. We should be misleading people more. Like again, that's more views, right?
Right.
Um, but we're just not into that. I guess like there are ways to like hook people in and get people interested in like a video or a reel or a post, but like you don't have to lie.
Mm.
And so when I read news articles, I'm like, oh, what techniques are they utilizing to get people to read the article?
Mm.
And like this isn't like, oh my gosh, I have to read this. Diverse experiences needed to tackle climate change. It's like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, gotta read it. But I'm like, it is there do we need diverse experiences to tackle climate change? It's like climate change is scientific, isn't it? So
Mm.
what does like diversity bring to it? Like shouldn't we have to we don't we know what we need to do? Like it's something to mitigate. So therefore this and this needs to be done. But I guess if you're going to implement like strategies and stuff like that, you need to make sure you're not like just annihilating different cultures and stuff like that.
Mm.
I don't know. It just seemed to be like I really have nothing to say about that other than like, do we need diverse experiences to tackle climate change? What's the first paragraph? In order to adapt to changing climate, we need to bring together a variety of partners and stakeholders that can implement and action our national strategies. Okay. Well, what's the last paragraph? If you ever want to like just understand like see how like good a journalist or a writer is, just read like the first paragraph and the last paragraph. That's what I do. And then I'd be like, because like first paragraph should be like getting you interested in it in my mind.
Mm.
Like it should make me want to read more, and the last should be like the summary of it.
Mm.
Like I said, like the actionable part. So and so says the government at the national and municipal levels are crucial in developing ambitious goals that are creditable. Credible. That are credible. Goals that are credible to ensure safe, secure, and climate resilient cities and towns. Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. So can we start dealing with garbage in towns like Senganga? Like it's like we always like we're talking not the people in this article or whatever, but there's just like seems to be like some very basic things that I feel like
Mm.
we should have under our belt that like aren't yet. So it's like,
Made us think about other small towns like Nabua or
yeah, I don't know what they
like
do there.
how do they deal with that?
Maybe
Do you
it's
think Sianganga is like the smallest town? You can like compare Sianganga to Mba town or something like that.
well, no, because like it's not even. It doesn't
I-
have. We don't have our
Is
own
it a
council.
town?
No, no, no.
It's okay.
It's
Sort of
is it
like
a municipality? There, the township or something like that. I don't
uh
know. But yeah, because we do sit under the Lambasa Town Council,
okay.
so we don't. I don't know. Like, I'll just tell you how it feels. Like, it feels like we're an afterthought. It
Mm.
feels like Senganga is is not on the priority list.
Yep.
And like I don't know, I just feel like people are kind of I, feel like the powers that be are a bit ignorant to what Senkaga has to offer.
Mm.
Being in like the middle of our island, like at the
Mm.
junction point between like the south end and the north end and the sub end,
Mm.
like we're right in the middle.
Mm.
So it's like when like this would be a good place to have like a landfill, that's not close to the ocean. So when
Sure.
it floods, like it doesn't all get washed out to the sea.
Yep.
Like if we want to put like I'd talk to our clan about like, hey, let's lease out some land for a landfill. That's like recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And you're literally like you don't have tenants. You just they're putting garbage
Mm.
in the ground. The garbage going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the difference if it's in a pit on our land?
Mm.
You just want it far enough away, I guess, because you get the flies. The flies, yeah, dude. That is a problem actually. I've been to some places that are really nice. They're like kind of in the vicinity of a landfill or a garbage dump, and it's like a rubbish dump, and it's really, really bad, really bad. Do
Yeah.
you have any questions so far?
Yeah. First. Okay. First question from Irnale 679 Bula. Do you have a strategy
You got this.
around posting YouTube shorts since YouTube are pushing it hard, or do you just post when you have content?
Okay, yeah. So YouTube is pushing shorts hard. They have ecosystem, the podcast ecosystem. With YouTube Shorts, we just we post what we have on Instagram and Facebook to YouTube. YouTube is trying to build up like everybody's trying to basically like the industry leader with short form content is TikTok. And people are like Facebook who now owns Instagram under the Meta platform. Like Instagram used to be just for photographers. Or like it used to be like all photographs.
Yep.
And like it was all like it was basically a portfolio for photographers to like share their work and
Mm.
to like or for people to post like really cool pictures.
Mm.
And like a lot of creators who started off on Instagram like are ticked off because they really went away from that because TikTok is like bang 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 like you're just like in the moment and it's over.
Mm.
And so everybody's trying to just keep up. And like if they do it properly, like you see with Instagram, like they're able to take some of that market share. And so YouTube's trying to capitalize on that as well. And so YouTube will like so if you have a post for Facebook and Instagram, you can make the same post on YouTube. YouTube also has like a place where you can make a picture post and just write on it.
Hmm.
Like the community part, you can just go to make a post. And so YouTube, like every single one of these social media platforms will reward you for utilizing their platform in different ways.
Yeah.
And so that's like doing this kind of a live thing. Like we haven't done a lot of YouTube lives in the past. So I don't know, maybe this is more so that we can, interact and get like a different kind of this is just a different kind of content.
Mm.
It's totally raw, it's totally like unedited. Like if I say something stupid, I'm gonna pay for it, And it's actually nice to like interact with you guys. Like we're here on the ground in this part of Fiji, which is different from other parts of Fiji, and it's cool to like hear from people, different Fijians who are around the world, and like get their insights,
Mm.
and answer your guys' questions like live is actually been really really fun. I've enjoyed it. It's a bit because Fiji's so small, like it's been a bit of work to come up with like cool things to talk about. But I'm finding that just having a couple things to like discuss and then like go into your guys' questions is it's been pretty fun.
Mm.
So yeah, like just take whatever post you have for other social media and just YouTube has everything that you can utilize as well.
They even have a story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube has stories
Yeah.
too. Yeah, we don't do YouTube stories.
I tested it today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Good too. Another question. Oh, hello again, Ryan Reddy.
What's up, man?
Hello. The country imports about 20 million per year in fruits and vegetables. What is the reason behind this? Is there not enough farmers, or are certain fruits and vegetables that cannot be grown?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely fruits and vegetables that can't be grown, obviously, because of the hot climate. And like a lot of things need like a cold climate for a period of time, like onions and garlic and stuff like that. Like stuff you think like we could definitely plant that here. Like I'm actually about to test out a round of garlic, and so we'll see how that goes. But um, like there are things that need a bit of a cold snap or a cold cycle to like to germinate, and or you plant them before the winter and then they germinate in the spring. Um, but also it's like again we're in competition like with our climate. We're in competitions with places like India, so like Asia, Southeast Asia, uh, Central America, South America can produce a lot of the same things we can here, but they have such a vast amount of space, land, and they're actually physically connected to the rest to their markets. Like
Mm.
India is physically attached to Asia, or China, or say, or whatever. Um, so there's a direct connection there. Mexico and Guatemala, they can drive their product up to the United States,
Mm.
and then up to Canada. And so, yeah, it's just tough, Fiji in the middle of the ocean.
Mm.
And that's why, like, I keep coming back to, like, we have to, and that's what we're trying to do with the Walker brand. It's like, we have to market things properly. We have to put time and effort into building a brand that people will buy. Like Fiji water. It's freaking water. It just happens to be in a cool bottle, and there's like a cool sticker on the front, and it's like 3D because it's like stick on the front and a stick on the back.
Mm.
So they made Fiji sexy, and they made water look cool, and it's like a status symbol, and everybody wants the Fiji water. And so we have to do Fiji that in that way, like because our products can be made anywhere. They can probably be made better, and but it's up to us to tell people why it's worth it to buy from Fiji,
Mm.
because it's going to be more expensive to get everything out of here. It's just
Mm.
so, we have to have people that are willing to help each other, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mm.
Thank you.
Right. From New Draw Farmers, all of Nakawaka family. Any update on your plans for turmeric business in the future? Here's from Lome Bonanita Siri. Naka.
Yeah, we are going to be doing something in the processing and exporting side of things with turmeric. To see, the thing with Fiji is there's no shortage of opportunity. The reason that I actually jumped on the turmeric bandwagon or train, there was no bandwagon actually. It was my own. I was in contact with an exporter in Nandi who wanted, like, how did we even get in touch? I took a sample to them from our farm. They liked it. They never called me back. They called me back when they're low on stock because it's the off season. They're like, we can take up to 5 tons a week. I'm
Mm.
like, okay, I can't supply that, but all of the people in Vanuatu combined, we can supply that,
Mm.
and we have the ability to like put out a big call to get people to bring the stuff in, and but it just ended up being that they were a pain in the arse to work with,
Mm.
and so they didn't buy any of the product from us, and so I was stuck with a bunch of product and just basically just flipped it for the price I bought it to people who wanted to plant
Mm.
some more. And so um yeah, I was just trying to pass on an opportunity or a potential opportunity that I had to everybody in Vanuatu. And so the price wasn't great, but it was better than the market price.
Mm.
But I think we can do better than that if we just do it ourselves. So I hope to put a pause on it, trying to get this tea and coffee stuff going, and the other business up and going. Which was the reason that I went to India. So we'll be doing that later this year, and then once we've done our due diligence with finishing what we started basically with those companies, then we'll proceed.
Mm.
And like I don't see a lot of companies around the world that are started and run and make it to the big $1 billion valuation or multi-million dollar valuation, or just successful companies that have lots of staff that are done by one person. Like
Mm.
it's usually a partnership. Like even though people don't like to admit it, like a lot of these companies are two people, because like it's hard for one person to wear all the hats in business. It just is. And so like sometimes you have somebody who's a really good salesman, but salesmen don't always make like the best admin people. Making sure that the taxes get done, making sure that the books are in order, and like we're looking at our profit and losses. They're just like let's get things. Let's be loud. Let's get our product out there and let's sell. And so I'm not interested in like I said, there's lots of opportunities, but I need to focus on the opportunities that we're trying to capitalize on right now
Mm.
before we jump into something else. Unless there was the right partner that came along that would want to partner with us. We obviously we have the brand. We need somebody with the know-how.
Mm.
And so lots of people, I got tons of messages, people that just need help, but it's like mm, like help doesn't pay the bills,
Mm.
And but if we were to work together and you're willing to pull your weight, because like I'm not a millionaire. Like
Mm.
I'd be doing this in a fancy podcast studio, with
Mm.
a fancy camera and a fancy mic if I had lots of money. And so I need partners who are willing to do just as much work as I do, because we've spent the last 4 years building the brand to this point, and it's nothing really to even talk about. Like we're still in the beginning stages, but like it's definitely recognized
Mm.
across Fiji for sure, and by many in the South Pacific. So if you were to attach like an already operational product or business to our brand with our marketing power, say, like that'd be something that we could, discuss.
Mm.
So I don't want to do everything from the ground up myself every time. Like we want to get to the point where we're cash flowing enough that we can just acquire businesses, and not to like put people out of business, but be like, hey, that's a cool business that aligns with our values and does business in a way that we think we can like has opportunity to grow. So we'll like we'll attach our brand to that, or like
Mm.
we'd want to partner with them or acquire that business because they have all the staff already there and they have all the systems and processes
Mm.
already set up. So I will be doing the turmeric thing, just trying to finish what I started with these other businesses, and waiting for the right partners to come along. So I mean, we've been here for 3 years in Fiji. We've been building the brand for 4 years almost, and like we've had so much opportunity already.
Mm.
Like that, I mean, it's only gonna build from here. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I just need to just make sure I'm diligent to what I've started. Yeah.
Make sure to make it work.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Any other questions, dude? How about
No.
like Fiji sevens? We talked about this other. Apparently, they need to do good at the next couple tournaments. Otherwise, they might miss out on their automatic qualification
Oh.
for the Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. So,
How many series have they lost? 3.
well, I don't know what they've. I don't actually know what they've won this year.
Mm.
But you don't have to win to automatically qualify. Like you just have to keep, being close to the top, right?
Right. Right.
So it would be really, really weird if we didn't qualify. Imagine if we didn't qualify at all. Like I think if we don't do well at these next two tournaments, like then we have to go into like basically a tournament where you have to earn your
Mm.
spot at the Olympics
Mm.
instead of like just being automatically like you're one of the teams that gets to go. But yeah, it's tough. Like it's hard to know like what is the to identify the exact problem if you want to say there's a problem, because like all the players are so epic, and Ben Gollins is like compared to Ben Ryan,
Mm.
like Ben Gollins was a way more prominent
Oh, yeah.
player,
Mm.
like so we got an epic coach, we've got epic players. It's just we need to somehow, I mean, and definitely like just because he was a better player than Ben Ryan doesn't mean, or Gareth Baber doesn't mean that he makes a better coach. But
Mm.
like it seems like we should have everything we need. It's just like there's a breakdown somewhere, I guess.
Mm.
But
So,
like still love these guys. Like I mean, you guys are still doing their best. It's like when people I love it in sports when people are like, you gotta I had a coach once, I think it was high school,
mm.
like you gotta want it. Like, do you want it more than them? It's like, yeah, no duh. Like Like that doesn't at least that mindset like doesn't. It just seemed like they didn't want it. It's like when people say that kind of stuff about like athletes, it's like it, that was high school, but like when you talk about that with like these teams, it's like trust me, these guys definitely want it. Like
Yeah.
they want nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So like saying that like they're not playing like they don't really want it, it's like no, that's not even a valid thing to talk about, honestly.
Oh, we were reading the other week about M-Pesa doing the,
Oh yeah.
what is it? Is
Yeah,
it
the
card?
MasterCard thing.
MasterCard.
MasterCard.
So how does that work though? Is it like you just top it up like just a normal card and then you swipe instead of using your
Yeah.
phone? How does it
Yeah.
work?
So the way do you want to actually check Instagram to see if we have any like any questions on our stories from oh wait. I'll check here. Cuz sorry guys. I am going to see if you guys have any questions for us.
Or have you had Goli Molisa fish before? It's from Senemeli.
No,
Goli Molisa. What is Goli Molisa fish?
I don't know. What is it?
Molisa, that's the.
How do I go into the details for this story?
Oh,
Like that story from yesterday. Oops. Sorry guys. I just want to make sure that I get to everybody's questions.
fish?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. There was nothing from that one.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't tried that fish.
Mm.
Maybe I have, but maybe it's called something else. I don't know where's that fish called that name. Um oh with the MasterCard. That's what we were talking about,
Yeah.
right? I think the way that the MasterCard so M-Pesa announced that they're gonna be offering a MasterCard through them, and that will like change the game hugely for like online shopping in Fiji. And I think the way that it'll work is that you it's probably going to be a MasterCard debit, I would assume. So you will load your M-Pesa account, and then it'll just be a MasterCard that takes money out of your M-Pesa account. So you'll probably have to apply for the card, fill out a form and everything like that. And then um, once you're approved, then you're just given a card that will debit or withdraw out of M-Pesa.
Mm.
I think that's how it'll work. But it will mean that people can now go and shop online. Once you launch the Waka store, people can come,
Just use a
buy
card.
merch,
Yeah.
buy products that we sell, all that stuff, just using their card. Like this
That's
is
so
such a big,
easy.
yeah. Because I went to BSP a few months ago and asked about it.
Debit card.
I was looking at different places to open business bank accounts,
Mm.
and just asking their store managers like, "Hey, why would I open one with you? Like, what do you offer that they don't offer?" And so I'd asked a question about credit cards, and the way that it worked is like if you want a credit card with like a $10,000 limit, you have to give them like a bond basically of $10,000. So it's like
Huh?
it's not a credit. So I don't know how it works because like I don't think there's no credit score or credit rating system in Fiji. So like there's no way for banks to like trace you
Mm.
or like to attach you to a score that would affect like your ability to go out and make purchases or like use credit cards or get mortgages or whatever that is. So because they can't like you can because you can't go to like say Aska Motors and finance a vehicle and you don't pay your payments on the car,
Mm.
and then you go to the bank and go get a credit card so that you can just go and like pay your
Pay.
car payments with your credit card. Like in overseas they'd be like, no, you have a bad credit score because you didn't pay your
Right.
payments from this other place.
Right.
So you have like your own personal credit
Right.
score. That's it. That follows you everywhere. Like, credit score is a huge thing, right? And so I think that's why banks like they make you pay for whatever the withdrawal limit is going to
Mm.
be, so that if you don't pay your $10,000, you
Or
know,
credit. Then they
your credit card
take it out
bill,
of the
they'll
bank.
just take it out of what they're holding.
Oh.
It's basically a bank account, though.
But
It's the same thing.
does it work like that in overseas?
No. Overseas, sorry to like blow into the mic, but like yeah, you can like think about getting a new credit card, and there'll be a salesman who just like just appears and just to like give you a credit card. Like credit cards are like I know people that have like 7, 8 credit cards.
What?
Yeah, because it's just like people banks want it. Like banks benefit from like selling Visa or getting their clients to have Visa, MasterCard, Amex, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they their business is assuming that you're going to spend too much money and not be able to pay it off, so they can just charge you interest. That's how they make money, is on the interest. Like I'm a terrible credit card customer because I've like there's been a couple times when I've missed because I forgot, but like we always pay our. It's like we use like a debit card. We spend it on it, then we just pay it off. Spend on it, then we pay it off. We never have to pay like interest. Yeah. So like the credit card companies love people that are terrible with their money. You just keep making that minimum payment, and never actually paying the credit card off, but just keep paying that interest. Yeah.
Get another. Okay, so Sanem from Sanem Melly. Do you guys have an app that we can donate to?
No, we don't. Like
I don't know. Maybe they just want to donate.
oh no, I would. What we're doing right now is we're working on a full merch line, and apparel. I'm trying to call it merch. I'm trying to call it apparel because we're actually trying to bring like some quality products to the market. So we're working on the sampling process for all that. Actually, this is one of the shirts.
Yeah.
This isn't the right size, but we got like some custom like sleeve tags on here. This is not the one that'll be. This is for a different brand that we're helping promote. And the Waka logo is a bit smaller on this shirt than on most, but this is a large. I'm trying to see what the XL looks like because this is a baggy fit. You can see that it looks baggy, but the shoulder should be a bit lower. Anyways, I'd rather you guys like get something for your money instead of just donating to us. We're not. I don't like consider myself a charity, and I'd rather see like people repping the brand. Anyways, so yeah,
Okay, another one from Ryan Reddy.
yeah,
John, I believe you mentioned you had construction experience,
yeah.
land or residential or commercial development, something that
So that
could be you would consider in the future.
yeah, like I would get into the real estate space. I have experience in residential construction, ground up, not the foundation part of it, but the framing to finish, like everything except for like cabinetry, like the inside. What do you call that in Fiji? Um, they don't call it cabinetry. They call it
What?
there's a different word for it in Fiji than cabinetry. But it's anyways. I did everything like the trim, hanging doors, making shelving, building the walls, and like doing everything inside. Up to that point, I would definitely get into the real estate game. I think the wholesaling part of real estate, like buying land, building like commercial spaces, and then selling them. And again, I'd want to do that with a partner. So, because I don't know the real estate game well enough in Fiji, but I think somewhere like Senganga has a huge potential for like huge potential Fiji speaking. Like we're still in Fiji, we're still on the northern island in Fiji, but I'm like, answer this question for me. Ashbai, Punjas, FMF, New World, all these big companies bring their stuff from Nambualu, which is at the bottom of Vanuatu, and they truck all their stuff. So you come up the island, basically halfway, and then picture like a line this way and one line this way, like a T turned on its side. So you come up from Nambualu, and then you go this way to Sabsawu. In the middle is Senganga, and at the top is Lambasa. So all the products go from Nambualu through Senganga all the way up to Lambasa. And then from there, they get distributed back down. All of it comes through Senganga again, back down to the bottom, like towards Nambualu, then out to Sabusawu. Why would you go past Senganga with all your trucks, your diesel, all that stuff, and pay expensive real estate and expensive labor, expensive utilities if we built everything in the middle where you could just stop, you could get cheaper labor, you would save money on your logistics costs, and you'd save money on your staffing costs because land is cheaper here, which means rent is cheaper, like, and then you would just from here you just go up and to the side and down instead of going all the way to the top and then going all around from there. Like I think people are sleeping on Sanganga, and so I intend to wake people up. But
Mm.
that's probably where I would start with the real estate stuff in Fiji. And I think there's also some big developments coming to Vanuatu, like an airport.
Mm.
And I think whoever's going to be first to market is going to win
Oh,
big.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine having your like a warehouse
Oh,
full
yeah,
of
yeah. Just
when that airport comes in.
yeah. Cold storage,
Ooh.
warehouse. Yeah. Like, man. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us today. We'll be back on again tomorrow. If you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments of this video. Is there something else that I should talk about
Oh yeah.
before we go?
No hustle dimes.
Yeah.
Just asking, is there a place where the merch is sold currently, or is it still family only right now?
No. The merch I think the only thing we have left is hoodies.
Mm.
And so, but we're trying to come up with a way. So we're going to be displaying it in a hardware store. We're going to be having it in our coffee shop, and we're going to be displaying it, like having it online as well. And so that's all coming. We're just working on finalizing everything so that so we're sampling everything, like I said, so that we're happy with everything before we release it to you.
Yeah,
So
we'll let you guys know.
we'll let you guys know.
when it
Thank you
comes
guys so
out.
much. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to record a podcast with Steph after this, which isn't going to be live, but I got to do some more talking. Love you guys. Peace.